All right. So, all right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started with week one here. Um, all right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the Dream Masterclass, Dream Interpretation Masterclass. Essentially, this is designed to help you to not only understand your dreams better, not only understand how to interpret your dreams and go deeper with your dreams, but also so that you can, learn how to communicate with your mind, how the mind communicates. This will help you in your everyday communication. This will help you with your communication with yourself. This will help you with your manifestation, what you're consciously manifesting in your life, and so much more. It will help you with learning the lessons in life, identifying, what the universe is trying to tell you in each experience in your life. It's very deep, very in depth, and very powerful and valuable. Out of everything I've ever learned in my life, from just like physical life things, metaphysical things, I hold this 10 times more valuable than anything else, understanding this language. So that's why I value it, and why I want to impart it to other people, to help them to have the same resource, that I have, and be able to use it and utilize it the same way that I have. So with that, let's get over to the slides here. First slide here. All right. Yeah, the Dream Interpretation Masterclass. It's here. So, and also, if you have any questions or anything, just feel free to ask away. No problem. So we have to first start off with the foundation of dreams and understanding, what our dreams are and why we dream. One of the very first couple things that I love to tell people and share with people, because it's huge if you don't know it, is that every dream that you have is about you, the person dreaming. Now, there are, precognitive dreams where you can, perceive things that are probable to happen, different lines of probability. And we'll get into how that's possible through this first lesson, understanding the structure of the mind. And, you can have visitation dreams where loved ones who have passed away can come back and visit you, or even, just us, we all could meet up in a dream. And visit each other in a dream. You don't have to be dead to visit people in dreams. But also lucid dreams, where you're in a dream and you're aware that you're in a dream. Those types of dreams, they have a different quality. And so even though you're visiting with someone, even though you're, foreseeing a future event through a precognitive dream and everything, and even though you're lucid in the dream, the interpretation still applies. So you can be perceiving a future event, but still interpret it in the same language and understand that everything in there is a representation of you. And we can kind of get into that some also when we get into the structure of the mind, how that's possible. The two things are true at the same time. So number two that we have here is every person, place, and thing within a dream is an aspect of the dreamer's consciousness. This is why everything is an aspect of yourself. This is why the dream is about you, the person dreaming, because everything that you see in the dream is an aspect of your own consciousness. When you go to sleep at night, your physical body goes to sleep. It's the only thing that actually needs sleep and rest. Your consciousness never sleeps, your subconscious mind never sleeps, your soul never sleeps, your spirit never sleeps, your conscious mind never sleeps. It doesn't need it to. So the physical body goes to sleep, and your consciousness shifts from the physical body to the astral body, your soul, your etheric body, emotional body, mental body, and astral body. And it shifts to that, and then you experience things within the subconscious mind. So everything, when you're looking around in your dream, you're actually looking around at the thoughts within your mind, because thoughts are just images, and you're looking around at those images within your subconscious mind. And so dreams are a reflection of the dreamer's consciousness the previous day or two. So when you're dreaming, the thoughts and things that you're looking at are what has been going on within your own mind the last previous day or couple of days. So that's why it's so valuable, and because every single day you're getting a new lesson from your subconscious mind on how you've been using your mind. So it's either going to tell you the different obstacles that you've been coming across. So by interpreting it, you can identify how to overcome those obstacles. It's going to tell you the things that you've been struggling with, the kind of the way that you've been talking to yourself mentally, it's going to tell you the things that you've been doing well, so that you can identify exactly how you did those things so you can replicate it again in the future. It's going to tell you, how you have overcome obstacles in the past, how you've progressed, how you're moving along and building upon, your different goals and things that you're building. It's going to tell you exactly how you're accomplishing that. So it's going to give you every single morning, every single day, it's going to give you insight on where you're at, where you've kind of been coming from, and how to get to where you're wanting to go in life, in your own personal development, in your own soul growth and spiritual development. So that's why dreams are so vital and so important. It's not like, like me, I'm someone who's very subjective, so I can go to my friends and I can kind of tell them, what things that I think may help them in getting further along. They can, we all can kind of look at our own lives and kind of assess what we think might happen and might be able to help us to get through, our struggles and problems and issues that come up in life. But your subconscious mind is your primary teacher. It's aware of everything you're aware of, and it's aware of everything you're unaware of. It holds all of the knowledge that you've gained through this lifetime and previous lifetimes. You have the knowledge of hundreds of lifetimes coming from this this subconscious mind that can really help guide you in much deeper ways than anything else that you can experience on this planet. So it's very important to listen, to what your subconscious mind is trying to tell you through your dreams. It's vital, I think, in anyone trying to get any real growth and progression, to take really big strides. It's not necessarily vital, because you can find the same information other ways, through secondary ways. You can get different types of readings and things where those people will be assessing the thoughts also within your aura, or communicating with your own subconscious mind for you. And so things will come through that way. So it is not necessarily necessary. There's other ways, but me, I'm Taurus 3 week the natural. I like to go straight to the source. So the fourth thing here we have listed: the more attention you give to your dreams, the deeper your experience will become. And that's basing off of the universal truth that what you put your attention on grows. Energy flows where the attention goes. So if you want to go deeper with your dreams, if you want to cultivate a stronger relationship with your subconscious mind, with your soul, dreams are the number one place to start, because that's how your soul, your subconscious mind is already trying to communicate with you for your entire life. And working with dreams and putting your attention upon them, writing them down, talking to other people about them, praying to yourself about them, talking to yourself about them. These are all ways in which you can begin the conversation and communication back to your subconscious mind. It's like if someone was, calling you and leaving you messages all your entire life. By actually working with your dreams and connecting deeper with yourself, that's a way that you are then responding to that call and having things to say back. And then it's a two-way conversation. And applying the message in the dreams is also a way of communicating. Hey, I got your message. I'm applying it. What's next? And you'll start to see that as you work with your dreams, or if you already have, I'm sure you can look back and see and read through the different dreams that you've written down on, oh, okay, I see how I was struggling with this a lot. And then this dream shows me exactly how I overcame that and what that's produced for me and what's next. Here's the next lesson. I have a lot of times where people, they'll come to me and with a dream and they'll be like, man, I thought that I worked on this, but my dream's showing me this. And it's like, well, no, it's showing you that you have worked on this, but because you've accomplished this is the new lesson. It's like, it's a perpetual thing. Once you reach a goal, either the ego takes over and you just get stuck on having reached that goal and you're like, hey, look what I've done, or once you reach a goal, you have another goal to hit. If you want to save up $1,000, you save up $1,000. I mean, then what? On to the next 5,000. If you want to graduate high school, you accomplish 10th grade. Great, you accomplished 10th grade. It's summertime. Relax. But then what? You're just gonna stop at 10th grade? No, you're gonna move on to 11th grade. So it's always perpetual, and the more that you apply the dreams, then the more that the dreams will then respond back to you on what's next, the next step, the next thing to continue, so that you can have that continual, perpetual, progression and evolution. All right, so our dreams are in a language, and its language is the language of the mind. It's universal, meaning everyone's mind communicates in this way, in a language of images. No one's mind is different. Everyone's mind is the same, in that way, and how it communicates in the language that it uses. Here on Earth, we have 185 different languages or something. I'm just throwing out a random number, I guess, maybe even more, especially if you're counting dialects. But anyways, our minds only have one language, and it is a language of images. And when you can understand that language, then you can understand the message that's being given. So here, yeah, our mind communicates in images. Our thoughts are images. If I ask you to think of a balloon, you can, I'm sure you've probably said either red, or some people said blue. Most people probably said red. Or what other color? Green, purple, yellow. It doesn't matter. You saw an image, and because you saw an image, you could display or convey what color that image was when you thought of a balloon. Same thing with anything else. Even if you saw the word balloon, what color was the word? Was it black and white? Was it yellow? What kind of font did it have? You can say all that because you can see all that, because it's images. And so when we understand that, then it helps in understanding that when we dream, we're just looking at the thoughts within our mind. The images that we're seeing are just the thoughts within our mind. And you just have to understand what those images are. And now the subconscious mind, I put here the power of positive thinking to help people to understand that our minds don't understand, don'ts or nots. They only understand the image. They only communicate with the image. Like if I couldn't talk or you couldn't hear, and I held up a book, if you couldn't hear any word and I held up a book, and said, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. But all you saw was me going like this. I don't want this, I don't want this. You didn't hear anything I said. You would think, I want this book. Please grab me this book. Can anybody find this book? Grab it for me. But I'm saying I don't want this, but I'm pointing to, but I'm actually, putting all of my attention on it. So your subconscious mind, some whole duty of the subconscious mind is to manifest the thoughts of the conscious mind. So even when we say we don't want something, the image that we have is what we don't want. Like, I don't want to be late at work. Only image in my mind I'm creating is an image of being late. So then the subconscious mind is like, okay, let's give them all the red lights. Let's build up a traffic jam. Let's have an ambulance come flying through. Let's create an accident up here so he has to kind of be late. Let's give him a flat tire. Let's do whatever we need to help him manifest on not wanting to be late for work. Because the only image that you see is being late. So that's why it's very powerful and very necessary to understand that positive thinking really works, and it's really valuable. And if you don't believe that, then go ahead and go out there and try negative thinking. See what kind of things manifest for you, and try that. But no, nobody wants to try that, because whether they understand it consciously or not, they unconsciously know that positive thinking is powerful. But our thoughts, our images, and our mind speaks in this language of images. So the better that we can understand these images, then the better we can understand the message. But before we really are able to get into the image of things and what this in the language and how the language is formed and the function of the language and the foundation of the language and get into, symbols and interpreting things. I think it's more important that we understand the mind. And so a lot of you probably have already seen this mind triangle here, this mind diagram. And if not, then it's brand new. But this is a two-dimensional image to help us understand a little bit and grasp a little bit better our mind. We aren't our mind. We aren't, there's a difference. Also, there's a difference between the mind and the brain. The brain is, here in the physical only. It's a part of the body. It's, what helps function all of the functions of the body. The mind is different. It's like you have a motherboard in a computer. The motherboard in the computer is different from the person moving the mouse. The person moving the mouse is like the mind. It's, I enter in the programs on the keyboard. I can program the computer to do what I want it to do. Your mind can program your brain to do things, but the mind can be programmed. So the consciousness is also, what's even behind all of this. So the consciousness is more your essence, it's your intelligent essence. And it uses the mind as a tool for experiencing and a tool for understanding who we are. We use the mind to understand who we are. We use, just like we use the physical body to understand who we are, with the senses of the physical body are pretty much all that we have in access to the physical. If we couldn't feel things, if we couldn't see things, if we couldn't smell things or taste things or hear things, we might as well not even be existing because we have no way to experience the physical. But anyways, so there are three divisions within the mind. There is the superconscious, the subconscious, and the conscious. The conscious mind is what we're most familiar with. That's the mind that the physical body uses here in this third dimension. It is, all the conscious mind is very aggressive. It's always there. The thoughts are always there. They're always coming into the forefront. They're pushing their way in there. Now, the subconscious mind, it's mind that the soul uses in the fourth dimension. And the superconscious mind is the mind that the spirit uses in the fifth dimension. So the deeper you go within your mind, the higher the frequencies are in these different realms. And so the higher in consciousness it is. So there are three divisions, 1, 2, 3, and there are 7 levels: the physical level, the emotional level, the lower astral level, the upper astral level, the mental level, the causal level, and the cosmic consciousness, Buddha consciousness, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it. But it's, it's the highest form of consciousness that the mind has. Beyond that, you have, your real self, which is, a ray of the Most High's light, essentially. So within these 7 levels, these 4 right here are the main, within the subconscious mind, are the main ones that you will have dreams with. I mean, you can, dream and actually project into the superconscious mind, but it's not, most people don't really do that. Sometimes, though, a person will have that experience, but the 99.9% of your dreams are going to occur here. And for most people, 90% of your dreams are going to occur, maybe even 99% of your dreams are going to occur in between the lower and upper astral. How you can tell which level you're dreaming in is the emotional level. Like, a lot of people talk about they have black and white dreams. They only dream in black and white. I've had plenty of people tell me, I only dream in black and white. I had one guy tell me, everybody dreams in black and white, and you fill in the color when you wake up. It's like, it's a lot of processing on the very instant you wake up, buddy. But no, I've never dreamt in color. But whoever did the research on that, they probably only dreamt from the emotional level. So they felt everybody dreamt in black and white. But when you're dreaming in black and white, it's emotional. Or if like my girlfriend just told me, she woke up from a dream where the picture was in black and white. And so just the symbol alone was in black and white. So that's kind of indicating to you that this has something to do with the emotional level. And so whenever the just black and white shows up, It's about emotion, something going on with your emotions within the emotional level. The emotional level is the first level within the subconscious mind because it's adjacent to the physical, so that's why we feel our emotions. That's why we call them feelings, because we can feel our emotions. Just like, my shirt, I can feel my shirt, because it's up against and brushing up against my skin. We can feel that, so, and that's also why when manifesting, a lot of people will tell you how feeling what you're imaging, feeling what you're desiring, what does it feel like to have that, is so key, because you're bringing the feelings into it, because that's the last level that a thought has to go through in order to manifest out here into the physical. So the this line right here delineates that there's a separation, a stronger separation between the superconscious mind and the subconscious and conscious mind than any other separation here. The superconscious mind and the spirit is whole amongst itself. The subconscious mind and the conscious mind are two halves to a whole. They work together, and so I'm getting back to the whole manifesting thing, but I'm breaking this down first to help you understand what I'm getting at. So the physical body and the soul are two halves to a whole. Your physical body is born new every lifetime. Your conscious mind is born new every lifetime, but your soul and subconscious mind is very old. I mean, some people might be relatively new, but I doubt this is a majority of people's first lifetime. Majority of people here on this planet, it's not your first life. But anyways, some people might not even believe in lifetimes. Anyways, we'll get to that. The subconscious mind is receptive and the conscious mind is aggressive, because universal law of duality, everything has two halves to a whole, aggressive and receptive, feminine and masculine. So the way that they work in manifesting is that you have thoughts within the physical conscious mind. Your mind, like I said, those thoughts are just coming out. Your conscious thoughts, whether you're conscious of them or not, the thoughts within your conscious mind are imprinted and planted into the mental level here. So it's like as if your mind's like a garden, and Lao Tzu even taught in the garden because it helped people to understand their mind. So the mental level here, and actually that's why the whole subconscious mind is the earth in the universal language of mind in dreams is represented. It represents the subconscious mind, because this is like earth substance, fertile substance, ready to grow whatever's planted. You could plant a sunflower seed in the ground. If you till the ground and prepare it, you can plant a sunflower seed, it's going to grow. You can plant a rose bush, it's going to grow. You can plant an oak tree, it's going to grow. You can plant a dandelion, it's going to grow. You can plant Johnson grass, it's going to grow. You can plant the ugliest plant in the world, it's going to grow. The earth doesn't care, it doesn't discriminate. Whatever you plant in there, it's going to grow. So that's why it's very important what you're planting within your mind. So if you aren't programming your mind, then whoever else is programming your mind is going to have control over what manifests for you. But anyways, the mental level is where things are planted. And whatever you plant into here, what is determined by what grows is the quantity and the quality. So if I think a thought 10,000 times a day, that thought is going to have precedence over the thought that I think 100 times a day. So if I think a thought of I need more money 10,000 times a day, that's going to have, the subconscious mind is going to, be like, oh, 10,000 times he wants me to manifest this, versus 100 times of I have more than I need. And unless the thought that I think 100 times a day of I have more than I need is more clear and more vibrant within my mind, more light, because light represents awareness. So, the more aware I have, like if it is a full-on image, like fully immersed, I can feel it, I can taste it, I can see it, I can touch it, I can hear it, I can just really resonate with what that means to just have more than I need, then that 100 times will probably be more powerful than the 10,000 times that it's just like in the back of my mind, I need more money. I need more money. So the density, the vibrance of an image, of a thought, because a thought is an image. So the vibrance of the image holds just as much weight as the quantity, how many times you think. And that's why visualization is so key. When you sit there and spend, 10 minutes a day, just really formulating the image of what you want, it will help to overpower the other thoughts that are there that kind of go against what you're actually, desiring, consciously desiring. It'll help overpower the unconscious thoughts. But anyways, no matter what it is, it'll get planted here in the mental level. And as it gains substance, it gets more dense. Like I said, the more dense, the more energy that you feed into that. Like when you plant a seed, into the ground, and if you never come back and water it, it's never, it's just gonna sit there and die. But if you come back and water it, you put it out in the sunlight, you let it get all the nutrients and you feed into it, you're feeding energy into it, then it'll grow, it'll get more dense, it'll sprout and slowly break out the surface, and you can then see what is growing from out of the earth. That's like a seed being planted down here, and then as it gets more energy formed into it, it gets more dense and falls down out into the physical until it materializes. And the last thing that it goes through is the emotional level, and the emotions are what push things out into the physical. That's why I say all the time, emotions are road signs. So use them like they're road signs on the road to help you know where you're gonna be going. And hey, caution, you don't really want to go down this road. It's a one way. Oh, it's one way. I can't get out, or it's a dead end. Oh, I need to turn around as soon as I can because I can't go anywhere down this. Let me turn around. I wouldn't have known if the sign wasn't there. I would have just went all the way down and found out it was a dead end and been stuck. So use it like a road sign. Anytime you have an emotion that is unproductive, that just means that something that is manifesting down from the mental level and is physicalizing, something is materializing or has manifested that you do not desire. And so that's where the negative emotions come from. Because emotions are just energy, and energy is neutral. It's how it's charged. That's how we're perceiving it, as positive or negative, as productive or unproductive. And anytime you have a good emotion, a great emotion, is because something that you have been desiring is manifesting or has manifested. It's being pushed out. So that's why emotions are so key. And there's elements involved to each of these. Also, the mental level is air. The upper astral level is fire. Because like the mental level, it's not a thought in the mental level is very wispy. So when the thought is first planted, if you don't stick with it, it's gonna float away. It's like a kite. You're holding on to a kite, you gotta stick with it, keep your attention on it, hold on to it until it, gets a little more substance. If you let it go, wind's gonna blow that thing away. Gone. Never see that kite or balloon again. But now as it gets more density, the upper astral level is represented by the element of fire. Now as it starts to gain roots, it begins to expand. Fire represents expansion. Your idea begins to expand into all of the different thousands of possibilities that it could happen in order to make it manifest. Then the lower astral, the element represented there is water. Okay, water is a little more soluble than fire. We're getting a little more density here. Water's still fluid like fire, but it doesn't really expand so fast. It doesn't really expand so much. Gravity has more effect on it than fire. So it's getting more dense. It's falling more. It's gaining more substance. If you throw something into a fire, the fire is going to affect the thing you throw in it. If you throw something into water, the water is going to be affected by what you throw in it. Can you guys still see me and hear me?
I can hear you, but your screen is frozen.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Well, you're frozen. You're holding your hands up like you're about to cast a spell, but it's pretty cute.
What'd you say?
It looks like you're about to cast a spell. It's super cute. Hold on, let me go in the other room.
I can't hear you.
I know, I'm coming in there.
Okay, what'd you say?
Mira.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay.
Mira, sí, mira.
Oh, yes, it's like on here too. Okay, that's all right. As long as you can see this, that's all that matters.
Wait, see what? I only see you.
Yeah, that's great.
I
You haven't
can't
been
see
seeing-
that screen. How do
You
you
haven't
do
seen
that?
that screen this whole time?
No, because I hit some button on accident. I don't know what I'm
Oh,
doing.
okay, there you go.
Oh, wow. Okay, my bad. I'm going quiet again.
There we go. Fixed it. All right. All right, I can see again. All right. So, where was I? Yes. As things move through the physical, yes, the water, lower astral level is represented by water. So if you, like I was saying, if you throw something into fire, the fire is going to affect the thing thrown in it. It's going to burn it up. If you throw something into water, the water's, if I throw oil into water, if I throw, salt into water, the water is going to be affected by the thing thrown in. There's more, it's less wisdom, there's more density to it. And then the emotional level is represented by earth. Is the element that is associated with the emotional level is earth, because it's much more dense. It's gained a lot more density, and things are ready to physicalize here. I had one dream once a long time ago where, and these things are all throughout plenty different holy scriptures and things. So like I said, we'll get to week 3 explaining a lot of this. But one time I had this dream kind of help verify all this for me, because metaphysics is something that, I can't prove to you anything metaphysical. You have to create an experience for yourself to know whether something's true or not. No one can prove to me, no one has ever been able to prove to me that lucid dreams are real. No one has ever been able to prove to me that astral projection is real. No one has ever been able to prove to me that thought transference is real. But I've been able to prove to myself that lucid dreaming is real, astral projection is real, energy healing is very real. So you can create your own experiences to find out for yourself. So this is one thing that I experienced that was like verified some of this for me. I woke up and I was like, oh shoot, all that stuff that I learned, it actually is true. I believed it before, but now I know it's true. So I had a dream where I was on the roof of a skyscraper with my mom, which, skyscraper, roof, and mother all represent superconscious mind right here. And my sister was there too. But I ran and dove off the roof. I don't have no, parachute or anything. It didn't matter to me. Dove off the roof, and I'm falling. And all of a sudden, like I go, fall maybe like 3 stories down off of this, and then boom, I enter a black void, which was, this level here, moving from this level into mental level. Boom. And then now I'm still in the sky. I leave the black void and I'm in the sky now, and I'm just falling, and there's just clouds everywhere, and it's just the sky. I can't see any ground or anything. I'm just falling. That's the air. And then boom, it goes void again. And then boom, I'm back. And there's lava and fire and volcanoes erupting on the ground. I'm still way in the sky falling. When I'm falling, there's fire and everything, and volcanoes and lava all over the place, which is, upper astral. I'm getting lower. And then boom, it goes into a black void. And then boom, I come back. And now it's like water, the movie Waterworld. It's just one large planet of all, everything's water. Like I'm over top of the Pacific Ocean. There's just water everywhere. And then boom, enter the black void again. And then boom, come back, and I'm over top of the forest, and then fall all the way down, and then I wake up. And so, I went through I was all the way up here in a dream, and within, 5 minutes, I'm back to my body. I went through the mental level, the air, the upper astral level, the fire, the lower astral level, the water, the emotional level, the physical, and then boom, back to my body. And that's why a lot of people, like when I was a kid, people would say, oh, if when you're falling in a dream, you wake up before you hit the ground, because if you actually hit the ground, you die. And that's what kids told me. Like all my siblings, my oldest sister is the one who told me that. She said it like it was absolute fact. Like it was 2 + 2 is 4. You know that, right? Like that's how she told it to me. And so it was wild. I was like, man, really? But now I understand, it's just that you're falling through the levels of consciousness. So once you hit the ground right here, the next place to go to is your physical body. That's why you wake up, because you've come back to your physical body. So it's very simple. But anyways, that is what kind of a little more in-depth into these four here. Another thing to point out with this mind triangle here is that in between the upper and lower astral is where the Akashic records are located. So a lot of people have heard of that. Some people haven't heard of it at all. Akasha, the word Akasha means the all. So the Akashic records is the records of everything that's ever vibrated and reverberated. So you can go there and, verify different information for yourself. It's like a library. You can go there and, check out some books. But, go out and check out the books on your life and lifetimes. But anyways, this is kind of more, anybody have any questions or anything over any of this that I've gone over? No? All right, great. Means I must have explained it pretty well. Or I've explained it so terribly that a question can't even begin to formulate. But all right, let's go deeper. Conscious mind. So it is the mind that the physical body uses here in the third dimension, height, width, and depth. The duty of the conscious mind is to create life experiences in order to learn from. So every life experience that we've had, the whole reason is so that we can learn from it, find something to learn from it. And how do we do that? Just like in a dream, food represents knowledge, because that's what you are learning, the knowledge that you are learning, the understandings that you are building. Because of that experience, I understand compassion more. I understand friendship more. I understand loyalty more. I understand abundance more. I understand communication in a deeper way. I understand leadership in a deeper way. I understand humility in a deeper way. I understand submission in a deeper way. I understand drive and passion in a deeper way. Whatever it is, to build these deeper understandings, that is the purpose. So like the way we do that, the best way to do that I know of, is to break down the same way that we absorb nutrients, our body. Break down the life experiences, just like your teeth break down the food. And then once you're able to break down the experience, then you become a little more objective. You're not so stuck in it. It's like, okay, let me break down what really happened. Okay, this really happened. Let me break it down. Okay, I've broken it down. What can I actually learn from this? What deeper understanding can I gain from this? Okay, and then once you pull out that deeper understanding after breaking it down, okay, okay, yeah, I can learn to be more patient from this. Patience. If I'm more patient, then things may develop into what I desire more if I just give it time to actually come to fruition. That's kind of what I've learned from this experience. So let me take that learning and move it to the next experience. Okay, I wouldn't have learned that if I didn't have this experience that I was previously, upset about. And now that I've learned that, I can let go of the actual experience. I can, forgive the person. I can let go of it. I can, forgive myself. I can move on. So that's like the body you extract. Once you break down the food and extract the nutrients, the nutrition that becomes a permanent part of your body, then you can let go of the waste. Because if you don't let it go, it becomes toxic to the body. You got to let that shit go. So just like in life, you got to let it go, or else it'll toxify your consciousness, your mind. And so, but also just like your nutrients become permanent parts of your body, it becomes the cells, the tissues, the bones, the blood, it becomes all of that. The nutrients that we, from the food that we eat, the vitamins and everything become these different parts, the brain, different parts of it becomes who we are. The same thing that moves us into the purpose. The purpose of the conscious mind is to then learn from your life experiences and feed those understandings of the self, life, in the universe, whatever it is, and creation into the subconscious mind, and to make a permanent part of the self. So those understandings that we're learning, the nutrients that we're extracting from life, we are then feeding into our soul, and it becomes who we are. So if you came into this life as someone who just understands how to communicate and the importance of communication. You know, you grew up and your siblings, they weren't that great at communication, but you knew the value of communication. You knew how to communicate, and and you were just seen as someone who communicated really well. You know, that might have been that, you know, in 1412, were the leader of a clan in Uzambi, some tribe that doesn't even exist anymore, you know, and so you understood that the importance that you had to communicate to your tribe because you were leading them so that they could understand why you were leading them in the way that you were leading them. And you understood the power of communication in that lifetime, and that became a part of who you are, to where this lifetime you're born and the conscious mind and physical body is new, but the soul is the same. And you already have that understanding. So however you develop in the first 5, 6, 7 years of your life, you're still someone at your core who understands communication and the power of communication. You might not consciously understand why you're like that, but as a soul, you know why. So that's the purpose of the conscious mind, to feed these understandings that we gain from our life experiences. If we, choose to, kind of do the work and break them down, put them into there, we feed that into our soul for our soul to continue to store in that storehouse of wisdom that we carry with us. And so that's another reason why it's so powerful and important to connect with your soul, to connect with your subconscious mind, to unify the two. And the power of the conscious mind is reasoning, so a lot of people like really get into like, that's why a lot of people who are just like stuck in the physical are very, very high on logics and being logical with things, but also, logical is very, left brain, which is like analytical. And, it's also, like naturally people tend to view men as very analytical and women as very, intuitive and more feeling. So, that's the same thing. Power of the conscious mind. Conscious mind is masculine, aggressive. Subconscious mind is feminine, intuitive. So reasoning is pretty much just being very analytical. All of us understand reasoning. But what I'm trying to get to is that the core values of reasoning, the 3 keys of reasoning, are your memory, your attention, and your imagination. Being able to use your memory to assess what has occurred in the past, use your attention to assess what is occurring in the present, and using your imagination to assess what is likely or what is possible or what is probable to occur within the future. And from there, from the vantage point of all 3, that is when you're making your decisions and you're contemplating things from that perspective, that is when you are a master at reasoning, using your reasoning ability. That is when you have a strong level of reasoning. So any questions here about the conscious mind? All right. So yeah, the conscious mind is what the body uses. It's what we're most familiar with. Sometimes we're conscious of what's going on in the conscious mind, and a lot of it we're unconscious of. But the conscious mind will lie to you. The ego is associated with the conscious mind, it's attached with the conscious mind. We have a question here.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask real quick, like, especially here lately, how much about the conscious mind influences, okay, wait, I'm gonna ask this wrong. Influences.
I can't hear you.
Hold on.
Maybe type it in to the chat.
Okay, how do I do that? Oh wait, I did chat. Okay, hold on. How much does
Why can't I hear you?
conscious...
Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay.
It was on mute.
I might be asking this wrong, but how much does the conscious mind, or oh gosh, what am I trying to say? When you dream sometimes, can your conscious mind and the things you're experiencing during the day be in the dream but not really mean anything? I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes I dream extended situations from real life things that happened earlier in the day. Like if we go to the store or something.
Yeah.
In the dream, I dreamt that we went in the store and bought different things than we actually bought.
Yeah.
that gets confusing sometimes. Why is that?
Yeah. Okay. That's a great question. So I get that a lot. Also, kind of also along the lines of like how you may be, start dreaming of something, and then you start all of a sudden dreaming of, detectives looking at a crime scene in the last 5 minutes of your dream, and then you wake up and there's the TV's still on, and you're watching the first 48 or something, or CSI. So kind of where like your physical life is kind of feels like it's bleeding into your dream, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. What
Yeah.
does that mean when it just, because then you wake up and sometimes if you don't get enough sleep, or um even like, let's say you drank too much alcohol the night before. I noticed if I do drink too much one night, my dreams are so distorted that when I wake up, it could be Tuesday and I'm totally convinced it's still Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So when we dream, like I said, you're dreaming in the subconscious mind. And when we're awake, we're out here in the conscious mind, in the physical. But they're all still a part of this entire our entire mind. Now, so that's important to keep in mind. that it's all kept in mind. But when, like I was saying, when you the how we manifest things with our thoughts is that the thoughts that we think are imprinted into the mental level here, and they fall down into through the subconscious mind and physicalize out here in the physical. So when we're dreaming, we're, depending on which level we're at, we're looking around at the thoughts within our subconscious mind that have not yet manifested. And when we're awake out here in the physical, we're looking around at the thoughts that have already manifested. You being in the grocery store, you had a thought in the past that manifested that into the present. You probably maybe even made a list in the past, wrote down those thoughts. And so you imaged yourself in the grocery store going through the aisles I need to get cheese, I need to get eggs, I need to get bread, blah, 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 blah. And then you actually physicalized and had that experience. So there is a connection between the two. One is the thoughts that you have not yet manifested. One is the thoughts that will manifest, or that already have manifested. And so that's why you can also not just interpret dreams in the universal language of mind. You can better understand your experiences from that. If you're having an experience of being in the grocery store, buying your groceries, places represent, places are a space to exist. So in the dreams, or in the universal language of mind, it's the space where we exist mentally, our state of mind, our frame of mind. So a grocery store is all about identifying and separating what you give value to. I value this for this much. If you need bread and you go to the store and bread's $50 a loaf, yeah, you might not need bread anymore. You might have told yourself, I need bread. I need to go get bread. I need to go get bread. And then you stand in front of the bread, it's $50. I no longer need bread. So it's all about what you place value on. And so, okay, bread's, $2.25 a loaf. I think that is equal value for what I'm receiving. Okay, I'll get it. So being in the grocery store is going to represent how in the present moment you are assessing what you value in your life. And that may be a mere basic function of, I value the need to survive. And so I need to get the ingredients and utensils and things that I need in order to survive and sustain my body, myself, and my family. But also on your ride there and on the ride home, while you're walking through, you may also be thinking about what other things you value in your life. Or somewhere throughout the day, you may also be thinking about that, consciously or unconsciously. And so then, even though you did that during the day in the dream, you then go home and you dream about also being at the grocery store, or maybe the next day you dream about the grocery store, etc. Or like what I talked about, TikTok the other day about being at work. It's very common that people have where they're at work all day, go home and go to sleep, then they're at work all night in their dream just to wake up and go right back to work, because during the work represents being in a productive state of mind. So being at work you're at work all day, so you're already in a productive state of mind, because you're trying to produce things at work. But are you doing it very well? Are you very scattered and unorganized mentally? And so then you go to sleep and you dream about being in that productive state of mind. So it's a reflection of the previous day or two. So, like I said in the beginning, your dreams are reflecting the previous couple of days. I was kind of throwing the work one in there to help you better identify the correlation of being, a state of mind, as well as, the actual place and the correlation between the two. So you can see how you can then have the dream that's the exact same of what you experienced in life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Perfect. All right. So let's move on to next slide. The subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind is the mind that our soul uses in the fourth dimension. And so the three dimensions, are length, width, and or height, width, and depth. And so the fourth dimension is time. Here in the physical, we're locked into the present moment. I can't go into the future. I can't go into the past. I'm just in the ever evolving present moment. But a fourth dimensional being, which is your soul, it can move into the past and present, so that's how, you like I was saying before, you have that understanding, like the person who has the understanding of communication. The soul is able to go into the past and access that knowledge that was gained 4 lifetimes ago, or 14 lifetimes ago, or just, this previous lifetime, and access that knowledge and wisdom and bring it back to the present for you, your conscious mind in the physical body, or that's how you can have precognitive dreams, because the fourth dimension here is not limited by time. So you can perceive different lines of probability based upon your actions and your thoughts and your emotions, and the actions and thoughts and emotions of those within your environment. These things are probable to happen. These things are likely to happen. It's not certain, but it is probable and likely. You can move into the future and things in the past with, that's also, like I said, the Akashic records are right here. You can go to the Akashic records and review all of your previous lifetimes, all of your past lifetimes. You can go and research the different history of the world. I have a book over here on my shelf from Dr. Daniel and Barbara Condren, where they were doing a ton of Akashic research and have just laid out like the history of the world. And like I had known about it before I ever read this book about the inner earth. A lot of people talk about flat earth and everything now, but it's mostly just a distraction. But because of that, I really don't talk about the inner earth hardly at all anymore, just because it brings up a whole separate conversation that's not purposeful to what I would want to bring it up for. But yeah, the earth is hollow, there's inner earth. But anyways, how the pyramids were formed, the energetic beings that then got stuck here and have become who we are, where those each energetic beings came from, what star systems they all came from, things. But anyways, I'm gonna be doing another, if you want to know that book, look it on TikTok. I'll be doing it here in the next week or two on the metaphysical book series that we got going there. But it's a really good book. I love it. I learned a lot from it. But you can also do that research yourself by going into the Akashic records, because it's in the fourth dimension where time is not a factor. It's not locked. You can move it just like you can freely move, forward, backward, up, down, here. That's how freely you can move in the astral. That's how you can have visitation dreams. Someone who has passed. There's no time needed to travel. In order to travel to somewhere, there is no time needed to get there. So you can be, astrally project and then boom, go to the pyramids of Giza, go meet up with your friends. You can go anywhere. Someone who's passed away, they can come and visit you. They can visit you. They can sit there and set up visits with you before they ever incarnate back into a body, but they've already incarnated into the body. Meaning like if my dad passed away today and he incarnates back into a body as my grandchild when I'm, my great grandchild when I'm 90. But then when I'm, and I might not know that, but then when I'm 108, I have a visitation dream from him. Well, that's because time did not exist. So in between when he died today and when I was 90, he went and visited me when I was 108, even though he was born into another body when I was, 98. I don't know if that even made sense to you, but rewind it back, play it back, write it down. You might better understand, the separation of time and how time is not so limited in the fourth dimension. But anyways, let's get on to the duty of the subconscious mind. I mentioned it earlier. The duty of the subconscious mind is to fulfill the desires of the conscious mind. Like I said, all of our thoughts are being thrown into this mental level here. So imagine this is just like this is your whole yard, but this space right here is the garden. If you're not tending to your thoughts, you're not tending your garden, then anything's liable to grow. It doesn't matter, if you have a garden full of weeds, it doesn't matter what seeds or how many seeds you throw in there, none of them are going to, come to fruition because there's weeds, there's strong weeds just all over. If you go into a random field and you try to plant, a seed down into it, it's not going to grow. Those weeds are going to suck out all the nutrients and that seed is going to grow. Now, if you pull the weeds out and you till the ground, prepare the soil for the seed, then it will grow, but everything here, everything here that gets thrown in here, the subconscious mind has to filter that out and determine what to give its nutrients to, what to grow. Just like, any part of the earth, any spot of the earth has to determine out of everything that's landed here, what all do I decide to grow? Like anybody who's ever had like an oak tree in their yard knows that, every once in a while, that oak tree's dropping acorns all over the place, all over the yard. But acorn, they only sprout into little small oak trees every so often, every few places. It's not just everywhere, even though acorns are falling all over. Yeah, squirrels are picking some up, but there's still plenty of, universe is abundant. There's still plenty of acorns left from the animals and everything that's still on the ground and getting stomped into the ground and planted into all around this oak tree, but only so many are actually growing. That's just the same thing. The earth has to decide what to grow, so the subconscious mind has to determine what it wants to grow. That's why I was saying earlier, how often you think that thought and how strong and palpable and vivid that thought image is going to help the subconscious mind identify, oh, this is what I need to cause to grow. This is what we want to manifest, because it's going to overpower that unconscious thought that's on like continuing on and on a cyclical motion within your mind. So the duty of the subconscious mind is to manifest the thoughts and desires of the conscious mind, but you have to help the subconscious mind understand which ones you consciously want it to manifest, because otherwise it'll just be a lot of times what we unconsciously are thinking, and that's what gets manifested, which a lot of times for us, especially here in America, is what we're programmed to think, what we're programmed to believe, because a program runs in the background. A program is always running, like right now, I got all these different little programs that are just running while we're doing this. It's just running in the background, so in the mind, the same thing. If I'm programmed to think in a certain way, it's just always running in the background. So that's why the programming is so important, because what you program your mind to do is going to help determine what's going on unconsciously, what's unconsciously going on in the back of your mind, which will influence what the subconscious mind decides to manifest for you. So from that, let's go to the purpose of the subconscious mind. Purpose of the subconscious mind is to store the understandings built through the experiences of the conscious mind. Like we said, the purpose of the conscious mind is to learn from the duty is to have the experiences, and the purpose is to learn from those experiences. But once we have the understandings from the learning, what do we do with them? We have to have a place to store them. That's the purpose of the subconscious mind, is having a place to store those understandings. And because we have all that understandings of all these lifetimes, all of that knowledge we have, that's why the power of the conscious mind is intuition, your intuitive sense, so any questions here on subconscious mind?
I'm good.
Okay. Still got a hand up, so that was confusing me.
Oh, I don't, Oh, I'm sorry.
You're
How do I
fine.
take that down?
I don't know. It's okay. I'll just ask every time. We just got one more slide.
I'm physically holding my hand up the whole time too. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. So the superconscious mind. Oh, here we go. Superconscious mind. That is the mind that the spirit uses within the fifth dimension. So the fifth dimension is space. So now we are no longer limited by time. And within the fifth dimension, we are no longer limited by space. That's why it's cosmic consciousness, Christ consciousness. Christ was always talking about, loving your neighbor as yourself, because, there is no separation of space. We are all connected. We are all one. Why wouldn't you love your neighbor as yourself? As you do unto someone else, you're doing unto yourself. As you judge others, that is how the Lord will judge you. Because pretty much how you treat everything around you is how you are treating yourself, because we are all connected. If you look at this mind triangle, this is one of the things that I love about it the most, is all the way down, like the two sides. The triangle has two sides, right? Look at these two sides. All the way down here in the physical, look how far apart the two sides are. If you only looked at if you put your hand above the screen and covered up all the rest, you'd be like, oh, there's one side and there's another side, left side and a right side. These two sides are separate. The further out into the physical you are, the further the illusion of separation. I feel like I'm separate from everyone here on this call. I feel like I'm separate from the lamp across the room. I feel like I'm separate from all the animals that are not inside my dwelling right now. But the deeper that I go, the closer that these two lines become, until at the very top, you can see that they aren't actually two separate lines. They are connected. It's all one. So the deeper you go within yourself, the more you understand that we are all connected. There is no separation. The separation was an illusion the whole time. And the further out towards the physical you go, the greater that illusion becomes. So that's, the fifth dimension is all about space. There is no separation of space. You like every holy scripture that talks about, God, it's always like in one of my favorites is from the Bhagavad Gita. And when Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is, for those who don't know, you can think of it kind of like Jesus Christ. Lord Krishna was like Jesus Christ. God incarnated into a form of man. And the whole story about the Bhagavad Gita is Arjuna is this prince. His dad rules the kingdom. He's the prince. He has other brothers, and they're going into battle with their family, their cousins, their relatives, who want to then take over the kingdom. These are all the unproductive parts of yourself that are wanting to take over, what determines what happens in your life, your kingdom. And so then Arjuna, it's like, I don't know how many thousands of years ago that this was set, but the battle isn't like, they don't have guns in the bushes. They're in a field with their chariots. Arjuna has a bow, and it turns out his charioteer, right before this battle, his charioteer is Lord Krishna, God incarnated into a man. And so the whole rest of the poem, it's a poem, the whole rest of the book of the Bhagavad Gita is just Arjuna asking questions to Krishna about life and things, and him telling him. Like part of it is like, Arjuna's like, I don't want to fight my family, I'm very familiar with that. He's like, no, you must pick up your bow and fight. It's like, I don't want to fight with myself. I'm very familiar with these parts of my, I know that me being lazy is not very productive, but I'm familiar with that. I don't want to change and transform that part of myself. I don't want to go through the struggle and fight that it's going to take. I don't want to put forth the effort that it's going to take to transform that part of myself. I'm familiar with it. It's a part of me. It's who I am, but Lord Krishna says, no, Arjuna, you must pick up your bow and fight. No, if you want to progress, you must utilize the tools of your mind in order to transform these unproductive parts of yourself. Because if you don't, those unproductive parts of yourself will take over, and they will determine, the laziness will take over, and it will determine what's produced, which would likely be nothing. And so that's kind of what it talks about. But anyways, at the moment in time where Lord Krishna exposes his true self and form to Arjuna, it was I forget the exact wording, but it was like, the form of 1,000 faces or something like every face that's ever existed is like in this face all at once, because space, there is no separation of space. Everyone is all connected. We are all connected, and through that connection we can kind of sense that we're all connected. When you're having the same thought as someone else, when you can just think of someone and something's going on with them, and so you reach out, or that's through that connection that we have with other people, we are able to have those experiences, or empathy in general, being able to feel what someone else is feeling, it's because you're connected. And the more you open yourself up to someone, the more you are able to understand and experience the fact that we're all connected. So anyways, that's the fifth dimension. So the duty of the superconscious mind, so the duty and the purpose of the superconscious mind are the negative and positive, receptive and aggressive qualities of the superconscious mind. This line, like I said earlier, this line here delineates the fact that the subconscious and conscious mind are two halves to a whole, and the superconscious mind itself is whole amongst itself. So the duty of the superconscious, I'm going to kind of dabble a little bit into dream interpretation here. The superconscious mind is where it's your spirit, it's like some people call it the conscience, that inner voice that's guiding you and kind of nudging you along to go this way, go that way, don't go this way, don't go that way, follow through with this, this is what at my core I feel I'm called to do in this life. That's coming from your superconscious mind. So it's your inner authority. So any authority figure in your life in a dream is going to represent the superconscious mind. Any parent, any grandparent, a boss, a pastor or something, a teacher, now these different things are going to help you to understand how you're perceiving the superconscious mind. Like if I'm getting this inner urge to do something, do I feel like it's bossing me and like, oh man, I really have to do this? Do I feel like that inner part of myself is bossing me around? Then it's going to come through in the dream as a boss. Do I feel like it's trying to teach me something? Then it's going to come through as a teacher. Do I feel like this part of myself, it really does have my best interest and is nurturing me through life? And it's going to come through as like a parent, and so that's going to help you to understand that. But it's not like different aspects of our personality or anything like conscious and subconscious are. So I kind of want to put that out there. But the masculine and feminine have two different things. That it's the masculine is the duty and the feminine is the purpose. So the duty of the superconscious mind is to provide life force energy to the soul and physical body, to the rest of us. So like if you've ever had a thought, an idea of wanting to do something, like I don't know, and you all of a sudden you have this inspiration, to like, oh wow, yeah, this is what I need to be doing. Now you have this inspiration, in inspiration, the core of that word is spirare, which means breath, which is the source of energy, life force energy. So that inspiration that's coming to you is that life force energy coming from the superconscious mind, because what idea and thought that's attached to is a part of the blueprint for your life, which is the purpose of the superconscious mind, to hold the blueprint for your existence that you have created for yourself. Like when you're building a house or any type of building, there's a blueprint. Everybody looks at the blueprint. Now, because of the blueprint, the carpenters know what they need to do, the plumbers know what they need to do, the HVAC knows what they need to do, and the electricians all know what they need to do. So they go off and do it. So you've come off and you've joined into this lifetime and you're running around, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I forget what I was doing. Man, what was I doing? I was doing something, and then I kind of forgot what I was doing. Let me go back to the blueprint, just like if an electrician's like, all right, we're feeding these lines along, and then it's like, wait, where were we going with these electric lines? Like, I know where we went with those other ones. We put those outlets right there, those light fixtures. But these other ones that we were going over this way, where were we sending those? Let me go back to the blueprint and reference it to know exactly what I need to be doing. What's my purpose here? You know, what am I doing here? And so your blueprint is the same thing. Your superconscious mind holding that blueprint for you is the same way. It's and that's why it's, you know, represented by the feminine. It's receptive. It's just sitting there holding the blueprint, waiting to receive your attention. You know, the foreman isn't just running around with the blueprint and taking it to the electrician. Hey, you know you're doing this, right? Is that what you're doing? Oh, okay, great. And then running over to the carpenter. Hey, here's the blueprint. You know, no, they leave the blueprint in one spot so everybody knows where to go to find it at all times. You know, so it's receptive. So it's ready to receive your attention. So like, you know, your mother or a female boss or female teacher or female, you know, leader in your life somehow. Versus the male is the aggressive, pushing out the energy. You know, whenever you are in alignment with, you know, whenever you are in alignment with that thought contained within the blueprint, here's the energy that you need to do it and get it done. I'm gonna give you that energy so that you have the energy to get through what you need to get through in order to do it, to get you up off your ass, to be able to change that lazy part of yourself or whatever, you know. And so the power of this, because of all of that, the power of the superconscious mind is transcendence, awareness. You know, if you look here, the superconscious mind is way up here. So you have a higher perspective, you know, when you're seeing things from your spirit, far beyond your body, you know, this physical life, this one, you know, for a lot of people, 80 years, maybe 100 to 200 years, you know, this one small space of time in this physical body, beyond the soul that's had, you know, hundreds of lifetimes, tens to hundreds of lifetimes. Beyond that is your spirit. That's the vehicle the consciousness is using in the fifth dimension. You know, it's much more aware. And so you're able to transcend the things that normally are blocking you up. You know, like when you have the awareness that you're truly connected and the same as every other person out there, you're able to transcend those thoughts that make you want to be mean to this person, not forgive this person, you know, punch this person in the face. You know, to someone who has this higher level of awareness, punching someone else in the face is to them no different than, you know, punching yourself in the face, like you're Jim Carrey and liar, liar, you know. So transcendence and awareness is the power of the superconscious mind, because when you're aligned with the superconscious mind, when you're thinking from the superconscious mind, when you're having those superconscious thoughts come through, it's a higher level of awareness. It's a higher level of perspective. You know, it's like if you're lost in a forest and in the woods and you just don't know where to go, you know, the canopies of the trees are so thick that you can't even see where the sun is to get east from west. But if you climb those trees and get to the tallest tree and look out above the canopy, it's all, okay, west is over there and we need to go southeast. So we need to head this direction. I have this higher vantage point, this higher elevated vantage point. Now I'm aware of everything else. I'm able to transcend the things that were in my way to keep me from having this level of awareness. And now I have more direction on where I need to go. So I can climb down this tree. Hey guys, we need to go this way. You know, so that's the power of the superconscious mind. So with all of that encompassed here, let's go back to here. When we dream at night, to bring it back to one of the very first things I said, when we dream at night, our consciousness, you know, which uses the mind as a tool, uses these bodies as vehicles, our consciousness shifts from the physical body into the subconscious, into the astral body, and uses the subconscious mind. So when we dream, we are more aware of the mental, emotional, and astral levels. We're closer to the superconscious, to that blueprint. It's very easy to check that one, you know. Like if I want to go to Cincinnati from where I'm at, you know, if I want to go next city over, it's very easy to go next city over. I want to go, you know, 3 or 4 cities over, that's a pretty big journey, you know. Like I got to plan that out, maybe catch a plane, you know, versus just drive over. I can do that every single day if I wanted to, you know. So connecting with the superconscious is easier when we're in our dreams than when we're awake. You know, assessing what's going on mentally and emotionally for us is very easy. All you gotta do is turn your head and look around. and see what's going on within your mind, within your thoughts and within your emotions. And like I said, right in here, this is where everything's being manifested from. Your thoughts create your reality, and that is happening here. And so when you go to sleep and dream at night, you're able to look around and assess. That's why I love lucid dreaming so much, because I can kind of see what I'm trying to manifest, where it's at. Is it in the mental level? Is it in the astral level? Is it in the emotional level? How far along is it? Is it moving? Is it changing? But anyways, you're able to kind of really assess what's going on in the subconscious. What am I aware of? What am I unaware of? That's one big thing to look at in your dreams. Is it light out or is it dark out? Is it daytime or is it nighttime? Nighttime is going to be telling you things that you're unaware of. And that's where a lot of value comes in, because you would have had no chance to be able to tell what it's talking about. A lot of times when I'm interpreting dreams for people, they're like, I don't really see that. And I'm like, okay, well, was it nighttime or daytime? It was nighttime. Oh, well, yeah, light represents awareness. So of course you aren't able to see it, because it's something you're unaware of. And that's part of the value of dreams, is because subconscious mind knows what you know. It knows lots of things that you don't know. And even if you didn't have a lifetime to build it, there is no separation. So it can pull from knowledge and awareness of others around you. Plenty of times I've had a thought of something being created, like, man, this would be really cool. And then, 5-6 months later, it's a thing that's invented somewhere. Like what was it, peanut butter or something like that was invented like in 5 different places. I don't think it was peanut butter. It was something that was like, I forget what it was. I might as well not even talk about it then. But something that was invented at the same time within like 5 months of each other in 5 different places around the world. It's like the 100 monkey theory. You can go and look into that. They taught monkeys how to open up a coconut or something like that a new way. They were all doing it one certain way, and they went to this island in the Polynesian islands. They went to just one island, taught those monkeys a new way, a better way to open up this coconut or whatever it was. I'll make it up, coconut. And one monkey started to open it up like that, and then other monkeys started opening it up like that. And once they got to 100 monkeys were opening it up like that, all of a sudden they noticed on all these other islands, all the other monkeys started opening it up like that, because we are connected. And so we can access the knowledge within other people's minds the same as we can our own, And so through the subconscious mind, you're able to do that. And so that's also another value that dreams can provide. You might not have the answer within your own soul, within your own subconscious mind, but you can still go within and find the answer, because through that connection with everything else and everyone else. Another human being might not have the answer, but Mother Earth, the spirit, the essence of Mother Earth might have the answer, so you can connect with her and find the answer. So this first week, I really wanted to break down the structure of the mind. I suggest that you watch this at least one other time, sometime this week, to better understand it and better grasp it. Because going forward from here, I'm going to just say things in an assumption that you know what I'm talking about. So when I say, astral level or mental level or subconscious or superconscious, or, the duty of the subconscious mind is to manifest thoughts of the conscious mind. Things like that. I'm going to assume that you know what I'm talking about. I'm assuming that you understand that your soul is in the 4th dimension, your spirit is in the 5th dimension. So I really wanted to come with this so that we can all have a better understanding of our mind, how our mind works, how our conscious mind and subconscious mind work together, and the differences between the two, so that we can better understand dreams, because dreams occur within the subconscious mind, and we assess them and use that information with the conscious mind and the physical. So I hope that helps. Any questions before we complete for today? No? Somebody has their hand up? No, I'm just playing. All right, great. Well, yeah, if throughout the week you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out as always. I always make myself available to anyone and everyone. You know what I was realizing though? Let me stop sharing. Oops. There could have been somebody sitting here waiting to be let in this whole time. I thought I turned that thing off, but anyways, it is what it is. They'll get a copy of the link. All right, well, I will leave it at that, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.